Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallava Girivaradari Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatiravana Chadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallava Girivaradari Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatiravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallava Girivaradari Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatiravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallava Girivaradari Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatiravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallava Girivaradari Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatiravana Chari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayesho Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Om Jnanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today we are reading from the Srimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 18, entitled The Battle Between the Lord Boar and Hiranyaksha. Text 4. Tvamna sapatnair abhavyakim brito yo maya yahanti asuran parokshajit. Tvam yoga maya balam alpa purusham samstapya mudha pramrije suhrich chukaha. Tvamna sapadnair abhavaya kim brito yo maya yahanti asuran prakoshajit. Tvam yoga maya balam alpa paurusham samstapya mudha pramrije suhrij chuchaha. Tvamna sapatnair abhavyakim brito yo maya yahanti asuran parokshajit. Tvam yoga maya balam alpa paurusham samstapya mudha pramrije suhrit chuchaha. Jit. Tvam yoga maya purusham samstapaya muda pranije suhrichucham. Tvana savanai abhavyagim bridu Yomanyaya hanti asuram parokshajit Ram yogamaya balam alpa paurusham Samstapya muda paramrije suhrichuchaham Tvana sabardhair abhavayagim bridu Yomaya hanti asuram parokshajit Pam yogamaya balam paurusham Samstapya muda parmije suhrichuchaham Tvanna savadna abhavaya grimbritu Yomaya hanti asuram parokshajit Yogamaya alpa purusham Samstapya muda pramrije suhrichucham Tvam, you, na, us, sapatnahi, by our enemies, abhavaya, for killing, kim, is it that, britaha, maintained, ya, he who, mayaya, by deception, hanti, kills, asuran, the demons, parokshajit, who conquered by remaining invisible. Tvam, you, yogamaya balam, whose strength is bewildering power, alpa paurusham, whose power is meager, samstapaya, after killing, mudha, fool, pramrije, I shall wipe out, suhritsuchaham, the grief of my kinsman. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. You rascal, you have been nourished by our enemies to kill us, and you have killed some demons by remaining invisible. O fool, your power is only mystic, so today I shall enliven my kinsman by killing you. The demon used the word abhavaya, which means for killing. Sridhar Swami comments that this killing means liberating, or in other words, killing the process of continued birth and death. The Lord kills the process of birth and death and keeps Himself invisible. The activities of the Lord's internal potency are inconceivable, but by a slight exhibition of this potency, the Lord, by His grace, can deliver one from nescience. Shukaha means miseries. The miseries of material existence can be extinguished by the Lord, by His potential energy of internal yoga maya. In the Upanishads, Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.8, it is stated, Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate. The Lord is invisible to the eyes of the common man, but His energies act in various ways. When demons are in adversity, they think that God is hiding Himself and is working by His mystic potency. They think that if they can find God, they can kill Him just by seeing Him. Hiranyaksha thought that way, and he challenged the Lord. You have done tremendous harm to our community, taking the part of the demigods, and you have killed our kinsmen in so many ways, always keeping yourself hidden. Now I see you face to face, and I am not going to let you go. I shall kill you and save my kinsmen from your mystic misdeeds. Not only are demons always anxious to kill God with words and philosophy, but they think that if one is materially powerful, he can kill God with materially fatal weapons. Demons like Kamsa, Ravana, and Hiranyakashipu thought themselves powerful enough to kill even God. Demons cannot understand that God, by his multifarious potencies, can work so wonderfully that he can be present everywhere and still remain in his eternal abode, Golok Vrindavan. Once again, the translation. You rascal, you have been nourished by our enemies to kill us, and you have killed some demons by remaining invisible. O fool, your power is only mystic, so today I shall enliven my kinsmen by killing you. So, we see in this wonderful pastime very interesting exchanges between the demons and the Supreme Lord. Now Hiranyaksha is facing Krishna directly in his form of boar incarnation, and he wants to kill him, which is quite foolish actually. And because of this foolishness, he will be killed in the end. Because that is how the stories always end. When somebody challenges the authority of the Lord, directly or indirectly, he becomes slain by him. And when the Lord is killing, it's different. It's good, actually. It might sound sound strange that God is harming somebody, killing him with a weapon or with his mystic powers. And how can God be such a cruel person, to kill his children and sons? That's what many people would ask, how is this possible? From the mundane perspective, killing is bad, because when somebody is killed, then he's no longer there. You miss him. His family miss him, and you can't go out to hang out with him and hear his stories and likings and have some exchanges with him because he's dead. But nevertheless, when Krishna kills, he's doing good, because he's killing the body, but he is saving the soul. As we know, in the famous battle of Kurukshetra, everybody who fought in the battle actually got liberated. Even the so-called enemies on the other side. And they were asuric, they were against the religious principles. And that's why Krishna came. In the Bhagavad Gita he says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. That I come in every age when there is a decline of irreligion to annihilate the demons and to protect my devotees. But still, when he kills the demons, he is giving them liberation, because God is absolute. And even people who approach God with ill intentions, actually, they get purified. There are so many examples in Shastra. Like the lusty Kubja, for example. She was attracted to Krishna in a lusty way. She wanted to enjoy his company. But because of this attraction, she became purified. Her lust was transformed into love by the mercy of the Lord. And whenever Krishna kills or steals or cheats, it's so auspicious, and it gives transcendental pleasure to his devotees. For example, in the past time when Krishna killed the big demon Kamsa, everybody was so enlivened by this killing, because he was a big demon who was terrorizing the citizens of Mathura, and he was fearing his own demise. So he devised so many plans to kill Krishna. He sent so many demons, like the demon Putana, who transformed herself into a very beautiful and loving mother, nurse. And she was even able to mesmerize all the villagers in Gokul. And she was able to access Krishna, baby Krishna. And she offered her breast milk to Krishna, but the breast was smeared with deadly poison. But again, the foolish demoniac mentality didn't calculate the whole situation, and she got killed because Krishna sucked her life force out, not just the milk, but he killed her when he sucked the breast of the demon Putana. And even though she was having ill intentions, still Krishna gave her his mercy, and she got liberated. She became became a nurse in the spiritual world, because this is how Krishna acts. He always extracts his Bhavagrahi Janardana. He always extracts the good from every situation. He doesn't look for the bad things in us. He just waits for some very small act of kindness towards him from our side or towards his devotees. And immediately he sees that. So wonderful is my devotee. And in the same way, Putana, she actually had some motherly, her desire to kill him, it was mixed with some parental rasa, some parental affection. She wanted to kill him in that particular way. So Krishna just took, he oversaw the bad part of the situation. He just took the good part. And when Krishna cheated his mother, for example, when she chastised him for eating dirt, she was chastising Krishna, Mother Yashoda. You should stop eating dirt. This is not good. Krishna was saying, no, I'm not eating dirt. Of course you are. Open your mouth, show me. Krishna was saying, no, I'm not eating dirt. Open your mouth. No, I'm not eating dirt. And then Mother Yashoda was able to convince him in the end. And when Krishna opened his mouth, Mother Yashoda saw inside the entire universe. And then she saw herself looking in Krishna's mouth again, another universe. And then again she saw herself looking in the mouth of Krishna, and like this, like some LSD trip, the original LSD trip. Or when Krishna was stealing butter and giving it to the monkeys, he was creating such a mischief, Like, for example, you're living here in Brooklyn and you go to your neighbors, you break in the house and you steal their butter. They might call the cops on you, or how do they call the child police? They might put you in jail or some reformation camp. But when Krishna was stealing butter and giving to the monkeys, actually he was giving transcendental pleasure to all the residents of Vrindavan. And or when he stole the clothes of the gopis, when the gopis were taking bath in the Yamuna, he stole their clothes. And they were really embarrassed because they were submerged in water up to the neck. They didn't want to go out because they don't want to expose their naked bodies. And but it's such a nice pastime. There are many aspects. I won't go into details, but basically Krishna wanted them to surrender in front of him. He wanted their hearts to become surrendered to him first, and then he gave their clothes back. So in this way, we understand how the Lord is the only one who can end our suffering, either by killing or by favoring us in both ways. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Daivihe shaguna mai mama maya duratyaya mame vaya prapadyate mayametam tarantate. That this energy of mine, Daivi Maya, the material energy, it's very difficult to surpass. And one can only surpass only if he surrenders unto me, because it's my energy. Mama Maya. And in this way we understand how Krishna, he's the only benefactor, he's the only savior. Nothing else can save us. Going to the doctor won't save us, or getting secured, getting a secure bank account, or getting a good material situation, or having the best diet, the best organic veggies, living in the best place, in the mountains maybe, with fresh water and good air, or having a pious life for good enjoyment, not so much, not so much sense gratification, like sinful sense gratification, so not so much suffering, like Natabar Gauranga was saying on Facebook. So pious life, very balanced, very good strategy to enjoy the material world. But still, not enough. Still one has to come to an end and perish. Even the Ayurvedic texts, they start with the injunction that if the mantras cannot help, if the Maha Mantra cannot help the case, then, and this is how Ayurveda starts, and then we start taking in consideration the gross body and the subtle body and what to eat and some herbs from the Himalayas. But ultimately, the Maha Mantra is the supreme cure, the names of Krishna, who are non-different from him. So ultimately we have to become more and more reliable on the transcendental potency of the Lord, who is apparently hiding in the Maha Mantra. Just like here, Hiranyaksha was accusing Krishna of being a coward and hiding. But Krishna is not hiding, actually. It's we that we have hidden ourselves from Krishna. We have chosen to go to to the dark material world, where there is no light. If there is no sun, it's pitch black. And even the sun is the light of the Brahma Jyoti. So in this way, if we want to understand Krishna, we have to turn to Him. We have to undergo the process of purification. And if Krishna wants to protect us, nothing can harm his devotee. But if Krishna doesn't want to protect, one can try everything, but he will be killed. He will be destroyed. This is the ultimate principle, to put our faith in providence, which doesn't mean staying idle and doing nothing, but it means to become more and more surrendered to the mystical potency of Krishna. We can see how Krishna is arranging so many things for us and for the people around us, for the animals and the plants. Everybody is getting what he deserves. Prabhupada was saying, even the elephant in the jungles who is eating tons of fruits and vegetables a day, he doesn't worry about his sustenance. He's just getting everything day by day. So what to speak of the super advanced human form of life that is not meant to work like cats and dogs and to waste our time and mental energy to think how to secure our daily bread. Or like I was saying, whenever we have some problem with our health or with our social position, family, whatever, we have to ultimately understand that we have to surrender to Krishna. We have to always find shelter in the pages of the Bhagavad Gita, of the Bhāgavatam, in the words of our well-wishers, our senior well-wishers, our friends. And in this way, Krishna will give us intelligence. The Dhammi Buddhi Yogam Tam, how to act. Krishna will give us inspiration. Suddenly, we will feel some pushing force from the inside. People talk about conscience. We will feel our conscience acting upon us and indicating the right path in order to solve all our problems. Doesn't matter what they are. This is how Krishna acts in our life. He guides us from the inside as the Chaitya Guru and from the outside as our Diksha or Shiksha Guru, the representative spiritual master. And Krishna says in the Bhāgavatam 2.3, text 10, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udara di tivrena bhakti yogena yajita purusham param. That a person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Krishna is the supreme fulfiller of desires. How was that verse? Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam. He's fulfilling the desires of all the living entities since time immemorial. Whatever one desires, One might be aspiring for some petty small pleasures in this world, or one might be desiring moksha, or whatever, even the best thing, even if he wants to become completely liberated, and even if he wants to become a citizen of the spiritual world, he should ultimately rely on the mercy of Krishna and on nothing else. So we have to endeavor like devotees, not like New Yorkers or Americans. Yes, because the default model is that people they believe that when they put certain amount of work, they will get the ultimate result. If you work hard, you will get good pay. If you do this, if you do that, you will eventually achieve your plan for a better future and so forth. That is there, but an intelligent person understands the subtle principle, the underlying principle of karma, and who is the controller of karma, who is ultimately the authority of all these laws that are existing, the supreme intelligence which is guiding all the phenomena. Not even a single blade of grass moves without the sanction of Krishna. And but nevertheless, the foolish demons, just like we're seeing here in this example, they see from their own perspective. Atmavan manyate jagat. Everyone thinks of their own accord, from their own position. So Hiranyaksha, he was applying his own understanding, his own materialistic understanding, in analyzing the transcendental body of the Lord. He thought that just by having more physical power or being more witted, more intelligent, he can defeat the Lord. But this is the froggish philosophy. You ever heard about the Mr. Frog, Phil? I'll tell you now about Mr. Frog. So Mr. Frog was living in one well whole life. He was just staying there, enjoying his petty life. And he had another frog neighbor who actually happened to go to see the Pacific Ocean. The frog went there and came back, the neighbor, and he went to visit his dear friend, his neighbor, the frog who was living in the well. And he shared his experience, Oh, I saw the Pacific Ocean, it's like so big, immense. And Mr. Frog tried to evaluate, okay, how big it is, like 2 times my well, like this and this. And his friend Frog was telling him, no, it's no comparison, it's like immense, it's like super big. 3 times my well, 4 times? Come on, you're kidding me. So in this way, with our limited perception, we cannot understand the might of the Lord. We cannot even understand the extensive space in this small universe and the planets and so many other things, and the phenomena in nature and what's happening in our body. The foolish scientists, they're claiming to know so many things, but they know nothing actually. Prabhupada said it's like promising you, okay, I I will give you $1,000,000, but just wait, It's there. Just wait a few years, you will get the $1,000,000. But where are the $1,000,000? No, just wait. You will have them. This is their false promise. And this is the same mentality. So the foolish demons, they create plans in this way to become stronger and to acquire material power and mental strength in order to subdue the dominion of the Lord. And this is the classical separatist mentality. This is the demoniac mentality which is existing in the conditioned souls. I am the master of my own life, and I am the one who is going to create the situation which will guide me to the ultimate victory. That is what everybody is doing in this material world. Everybody is creating his own plans, how to achieve success. But nevertheless, everybody is being baffled. Just like Hiranyaksha was baffled in his attempts to kill the Lord. He was thinking that because he's strong and because he has a mighty weapon, that he can kill the Lord and become God. And this is what everybody else is thinking in this material world. One is thinking, everybody is secretly desiring to become God, and gradually I will, do this, that, I will get this education, then do this job, make some money, invest, then get some bigger stuff, invest in stocks, and then do some technology to live longer, go to other planets, get more resources. Slowly, you get more knowledge from the Vedas. Just like Hitler, he was very fascinated by the Vedas, and he started extracting knowledge from there and started trying to utilize it for his nefarious activities. He was trying to control the world slowly to exercise dominion. And but this is very dangerous, and we have to rectify this mentality. This is the big challenge, one of the biggest challenges in our lives, because everybody carries this propensity to always try to create his own plan of how to achieve success. And even in devotional life, we think that we can figure it out. We think that just by reading a few books and hearing a few instructions that, okay, now I got it, so I have to do this and that, and that's it, and I'll get Krishna Prema. But it doesn't work like that. It's not a mechanical plan. It's a relationship. The relationships are very dynamic. And Krishna will show us many times how we're not the controllers, and he will ruin our plans. And this is the challenge. We just have to understand that Krishna is the supreme well-wisher of everybody, because he's the only one who knows us best, who knows every nook and corner of our heart. And he's the only one who can give us the perfect remedy. And the perfect remedy comes in many forms and ways. The causeless mercy, unconditional mercy of the Lord. Sometimes it comes as a bitter truth. Sometimes it comes as a sweet rasgula. But it's all good. Whatever God doesn't give us, and whatever He gives us, it's all good. In this way, we try to look transcendentally, try to situate ourselves into this transcendental understanding. And we try to just become a humble servant. We try to just become pliable dough in the hands of the other Vaishnavas. We try to listen to their instructions because Krishna is acting through them and He's giving us directions. And we should always try to consult them for advice, and when we're having some difficulty. We will have so many difficulties in our path, especially when we are in the early stage of purifying all the anarthas, the anartha nivritti stage. We will have so many doubts and so many subtle conditionings that we have to deal with. And many times we will deal with these things only if we are sincere, if we reveal our mind to our well-wisher spiritual teachers, or if we just try to surrender to the direct devotional service and like this. The main point is that we have to understand that Krishna has a better plan than us. And many times we have to get out of our own way. We have to understand that, okay, we should make plans, but ultimately our plans might not work, and we just have to surrender to the plan of Krishna. So this is what I wanted to share with you, dear devotees. If there are some questions, comments, or if I said something wrong, please correct me. Wow.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think it's cool what you said. Like, it's not a mechanical step-by-step process. I mean, there are steps on how to purify yourself, but the actual point of building a relationship with God that you can touch, that you can feel, that you can see, that you recognize is there the same way you see your mom and your dad, it isn't like, it isn't automatic. You can't write it on a sheet of paper, go through the sheet, and then see your relationship. It's like, it's dynamic, and if you can't bob and weave with it, you're just never going to get it. It's like going into a fight and thinking, I just got to put my left foot forward, my right hand forward, and I'm going to win. No, you get knocked out. And I thought that was super interesting because, like, sometimes my mind wants to think, okay, today I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then I'll go ahead. And God's just like, yeah, okay, buddy. And that point really, like, hit me. Appreciate that.
Yes, just like there is this pastime with Narada Muni, who was able to, by his penance, his spiritual practice, he was able to attain darshan of the Lord. He was in the forest chanting his holy names, and Krishna revealed himself to him, and he got ecstasy, he got supreme bliss. But then Krishna disappeared, and Narada Muni was left so broken, oh, where is my Lord? He started longing for him. And then what he did, he started chanting again. He started, concentrating himself. Okay, now I'll just be focused, chanting more and more, and Krishna will come again. But no, Krishna didn't come anymore. It's not that Krishna can come or he cannot come. It's up to him. Even if we follow the process perfectly, just like we're chanting, we are reciting the Shikshashtakam prayers every morning. Krishna says, even if you leave me broken-hearted, or how was exactly the translation? You remember not? If you leave me broken-hearted, if you handle me roughly, I will be your servant unconditionally, life after life. This is the mood of the Vaishnava. This is ultimately, even if our plans fail, even if we did everything in the books, if we were like good boys, still it's up to Krishna, it's a relationship. Even Krishna, he ran away from the gopis also. He left them alone, and they were like in complete separation, crying, and like this.
Yeah, one comment on that, and then one thing I remembered, like even if it seems like Krishna is neglecting us, we have to realize it's also for our own benefit. Like Krishna is always going to act, he's not going to act bad for us. He's Suridam Sarvabhutanam, he's the friend of all living entities. Like he can actually be our friend. He actually knows what's good for us. And it's like sometimes people will go on, like there's like an example, sometimes when people will go on like a specific diet. Like this one he was like recommending a completely fruit diet. But he says sometimes when people go to that diet, they end up getting really sick after a couple of weeks. And they think, oh, it's because of the diet, and then they stop the diet and they go back. But actually, it's because when they start the diet like that, it's much easier on the digestion. The body starts detoxing. And so you release all these toxins in your body and they got to come out. So sometimes when they come out, you get a little sick. And but it's actually, once you get through that sickness, then your body is very pure and it's that much stronger and you don't get sick anymore. And so similarly, Krishna, he may put us through different tapasyas, different things, but how do you make a diamond? By pressure. So Krishna wants to purify us, or how do you make gold pure? You have to melt it very hot. So Krishna wants to purify us, so sometimes, because ultimately we want to experience directly with him and be with his associates, but if we're not ready for that, but we still want that and he still wants that, then he makes some arrangement, and that's basically what devotional service is getting that purification. And so that was one comment. And then the other thing I was remembering is that you're talking about if someone lives a happy mode of goodness, like the Shastras say, it's just like wearing gold chains. If Al Capone goes to jail, he may get all the best kind of stuff in jail, but he's still got to be in jail. It doesn't, jail is still jail. And so sometimes they say, Krishna says by your being just happy, you're conditioned by that happiness and you become complacent. So we have to also, that's like the duty of a preacher is to comfort the distressed. Everyone is distressed in the material world, and there's a lot of comfort that Krishna consciousness can bring. But then also, for people that are too comfortable with the material world, they have to realize that, anyways, I don't care if I have to die. I can just figure it out, and I'll kind of get a good thing going between here and the demigod planets, and it'll be all right. But no, there's so much suffering and you don't know, there's danger at every step. You don't know if anything could change. It's like, if I gave you sweet rice, you like sweet rice, right? You don't like sweet rice? What's your favorite food? Pizza? You like khichdi? Okay, I give you some khichdi. I say, here, Phil, here's some khichdi. But I chuck some sand in it. It's gonna ruin it, right? Like I just get a big pile of nice fine sand with some bigger things and some rocks, and I chuck it in your. Yeah, exactly. So if you think, I can just enjoy the khichdi with the sand, no, you can't. You're gonna chew it. It's gonna grind on your teeth, and it's gonna be disgusting. And so that's like someone trying to just tolerate the suffering of the material world, and they're in the mode of goodness. They can see how to kind of dodge that bullet. They can kind of get a lot more out of the material world than most people, and they feel good about that. They feel happy, but really that complacency is just like gold shackles.
Thank you for the comment.
Mini Bhagavatam class done, sorry.
Yes, so our mantra should be, even in difficult moments, this your first point. When the devotee is put in difficult moments, when one is feeling down or depressed or some pain or some, you hurt yourself, something happens, dog bites you or you cut yourself, whatever, break your leg. Yeah, Prabhupada had a book, gore him. So the devotee is always meek and humble, and he tries to understand what is there in this situation that I have to learn. Why am I put in this situation? Of course, the devotees they always think that this is just a small token that I'm receiving. I cut my finger, but I was supposed to lose my entire hand. So Krishna is so merciful. He's giving me just a little bit to make me understand that I did something wrong in the past. And the devotee is also seeing the situation as Krishna is putting pressure on me. He's polishing me and making me understand something. So one shouldn't be, becoming angry or rebellious. Why is Krishna doing this? How can he, but we should always try to understand what am I doing wrong? Am I being too impersonal? And then I'm getting this impersonalism back. Am I being like cold and rigid in my relationships with devotees, for example? And now I'm just remaining cold as a stone. Because this is one, for example, common problem in the West. There is a wild impersonalism, and because of our upbringing, many times we're acting very, very in a very impersonal way, and Krishna is making us understand. So, I'm left alone. Why am I alone? Why I'm not feeling the love? Where is Krishna? So Krishna is maybe teaching us that we have to engage in the loving exchanges with the Vaishnavas. We have to become more present and more caring and learn how to be a friend. This is something that I can relate to. And I like this. Okay, so I think we are done. Om Tat Sat, takes a lot. Prasharam is in the parking lot.
I said that. Thanks a lot.
No, Krishna is very happy to see you.